Hello, it's me, Cole, from Selkirk United Church with a midweek message for May the 20th. May the 20th, how did that happen? Time just keeps rolling along, doesn't it? We've had 2 months of these midweek online messages now. I hope you're all staying safe and well. We have quite a few topics to share with you this week, so let's get to them. The first one is a good news story worth sharing, I think. Chris received an email from one of our congregation members just a few days ago. Let me read part of it to you. Good morning, Chris. I won $120 in a pool for survivors, so I put a check in the mail this morning for that amount to be given to the youth group for their food bank drive. Let me know when you get it. Thanks. Stay well. Love. And then it has the person's name. So first of all, a thank you to that wonderful person. What a great idea to be able to support the youth group and encourage them in what they are doing, and at the same time to support the food bank. Such a great cause, such a great idea. It does my heart good to hear those kinds of stories, and maybe it will provide some inspiration for all of us to do similar things in our own circumstances as we are able. Speaking of outreach, some of you might have been wondering if there are other ways that our United Church can reach out. Our church has always tried to be a mission-oriented church, placing importance on how we can help the most vulnerable in our society. And we don't want a pandemic to slow us down as we continue to try to look outward beyond ourselves to the needs of those around us. The food bank is a good example. Another example comes to us from our regional newsletter this past week. There's a story in the newsletter that I'd like to share with you. It says, people of the United Church have asked how they can support our church as we reach out to partners and the vulnerable communities they work with during this time of pandemic. The United Church is now accepting donations to help support mission and service partners in the Global South as they work to meet the needs of these communities in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then it says to learn more and support this appeal, you can visit one of the website addresses, which I'll give you in a moment. Many of the communities mission and service partners work with are already living with hunger, lack of access to water, crowded living conditions, and limited health care. COVID-19 has made all of these heartbreaking realities worse. The United Church is working faithfully with partners to address immediate needs for food and supplies to help keep these communities safe during the pandemic. If you would like to know more about that outreach opportunity, you can visit our United Church regional website, which is prairietopinerc.ca. The RC stands for Regional Council. So it's prairie2, the word 2, T-O, pinerc.ca. prairietopinerc.ca. And you can look under the news link once you're on that site. There are lots of good stories and lots of information about the wider United Church and what we're doing to help around our own communities and around the world on that website. Let me share two other stories from the latest regional newsletter. The first one is another opportunity to put our faith into action. Westworth United Church in Winnipeg invites you to join them in speaking up for a guaranteed or universal basic income, taking the lead from a recent letter from all of Canada's Lutheran and Anglican bishops to the federal government. We are being asked to support the principle and practice of government-guaranteed minimum income for families and individuals as a more effective way of addressing poverty. And again, there's more information about that on the regional website. And this third story matches up well with our status as an affirming congregation. It's advertising an upcoming national webinar for all who stand in solidarity with the trans and non-binary community. It's called Becoming a Trans Ally/Accomplice. The webinar is Monday, May 25th, 2020, 6 o'clock p.m. in Manitoba. And let me just read a short excerpt from that announcement. It says, trans and non-binary people are members of the United Church. They are our ministers, our lay leaders, our children and youth, our neighbors, our colleagues, our family and friends. But despite church policies and federal and provincial laws that affirm transgender people, they still face disproportionately high rates of discrimination. If you are interested in learning how to be a trans ally/accomplice, then this webinar is for you. Learn what it means to stand in solidarity with trans and non-binary people. to speak out consistently, address systemic transphobia, and actively participate in witnessing to and advocating with trans and non-binary people for their rights and human dignity. And then there's a link on the website to find out more and to register for the webinar. Next up is a letter we received from West Broadway Community Ministry a week or so ago. Let me just read the news coming from West Broadway. Dear friends, this comes from Linda Trono. Dear friends, thank you so much for your recent donation to West Broadway Community Ministry. We are so grateful for the support we are getting from so many at this difficult time. We continue to serve lunch, but now it is served in a bag, out the door from 6 feet away. There is no coffee and conversation is very brief. While people are longing for human connection, we can only offer smiles from a distance and some shouts of encouragement. In every lunch bag there is a letter so we can share information, offer some words of comfort, a few jokes, and the occasional word search. The nutritional content of the lunches has gone up. We are now providing fruit every day as well as a granola bar and a juice box. We are still providing emergency food to those in need. While we used to give out 2 days worth of food once every 3 months, we are now giving out a bit more, and we are open to handing it out on a monthly basis if people are really struggling. Because there are so many people in need of a washroom in this neighborhood, we have provided a portable toilet outside. It has proved to be quite popular, and the toilet paper has only gone missing a few times. All our groups have stopped meeting, of course, the art group, the sharing circle, the knitting group, and the seniors group. The services offered by Susan Rowley, our reflexology therapist, and Chris Kluk, our chiropractor, are on hold. Our elder, Corina, has been offering a do-it-yourself smudge outside on a weekly basis. We are trying to promote responsible social distancing while being aware that many of our city's more vulnerable people are finding this very difficult. We are encouraging everyone to love your neighbor from a distance and have provided posters for people to put up in their windows. Thank you for loving your neighbors from a distance by giving so generously at this time. Blessings, Linda Trono. She is the community minister at West Broadway. Thanks to Linda for sending us that lovely note and some information. So there is a lot going on in the wider church and many opportunities to stand with those who are vulnerable and to make a positive difference in society, both locally and globally. Just a few more notes this week. We did have our first online sacrilegion gathering yesterday, and it was a success. There were 8 of us on Zoom, and it went off without a hitch. So we're going to keep offering those. The next one will be next Tuesday, May 26th at 1 p.m. If you are interested in joining us, just send me an email to cole@selkirkunitedchurch.ca, and I will send you an invitation. I also want to pass along our thanks to Larry and Gary, who have been raking grass, cleaning eaves troughs, and generally getting the church building ready for summer. Big thank you to those two. And last, but certainly not least, we have a couple of guests today here at Midweek Message. We have Holly and Carol from our Selkirk United Church youth group joining us from off-site. They have some news to share with the whole congregation, so I will say goodbye for now and let Carol and Holly and the youth group have today's last word. Oh, just a note about the youth group story. Partway through, they direct you to send an email to Chris, and that email address is actually chris@selkirkunitedchurch.ca. chris@selkirkunitedchurch.ca. Take care, everyone, and have a good week. Bye for now.
Breaking news. I'm Carol Shokailu, and welcome to Tuplisky News. The Selkirk United Youth Group is doing a food bank scavenger hunt. Our reporter Holly is on location. Holly, what can you tell us about this event?
Well, Carol, it seems like the youth are doing good for their community by collecting non-perishable food items for the Selkirk Food Bank. This event will take place on May 31st, and one of their teams will stop by to pick up the food items between 1 and 3 p.m. They will start at Selkirk United Church and end at the food bank. They even have prizes for the winning team, but they need participating families.
And how can the families sign up, Holly?
They can email chris@selkirkunited.ca or phone and leave a message at 204-482-5914. I'm Holly Topliski from Topliski News, and back to Cindy with the weather.